HelloFresh's new build-a-plate meals are designed to let every member of your household create their perfect plate. No more making multiple dinners to satisfy everyone. Just one meal with so many ways to enjoy. And for a limited time, kids eat free. Go to HelloFresh.com/WellREDKids to unlock this exclusive offer. One free kids meal per box for 2 months while subscription is active. That's free kids meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/WellREDKids. It is highly encouraged to voice the following what the fuck? I just read that. I'm Ron Burgundy.
You literally just did that fucking that. You ever seen that clip of Kevin Sorbo on the set of Hercules or whatever, where he says something and then he goes, disappointed.
Yeah.
He's just America's supposed to sound disappointed.
Maybe. Yeah. Disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm leaving it in.
I'd say you leave all that in and just fix whatever you messed or, clarify.
I absolutely am. Also, I don't know why there's a QR code up here that says donate, but don't do that because I don't know what the fuck that is.
I mean, you're the one that had to have done that.
Well, I hear you, but I didn't mean to. So, anyways, here we are. Disappointed.
What are you gonna do? You gonna redo it?
No.
All
he was trying to say was that HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and that is true. By the way, I've been with HelloFresh for a long time, and I'm excited about this promotion. I'm going to try to get it hooked up on my own subscription.
Same.
My own subscription that's been going for like 7 years straight now, or something like that. That's how hard HelloFresh hits for me. But
well, let me add to it. I've moved to bumfuck land, even further out than where Corey's living, and buddy, they get it to me, and it's still HelloFresh.
This is funny, too, because this is how my brain works. I didn't realize that they were doing a new initiative with, like, kids' meals or whatever. And when we got our package, Amber's like, there's a kids' meal in here. She's like, why? And I was like, oh, it's just they know I got a kid now. And I hit for them. So they sent that to me. But it's a part of a whole thing. So I don't hit. I mean, I do hit, but not any different. It was good, too. It was a cheese and corn quesadilla.
That is like, do you guys remember Lasso?
Ted Lasso?
Yeah. There's that part where
really?
Did you guys watch it? Did you guys both watch
Ted Lasso?
Yeah,
hell yeah.
I've never heard anybody say, hey, you remember Lasso?
Yeah, I know.
Remember when he was
like a 90s cowboy show or something, but
do you remember when he was talking to Jamie?
Yeah.
And Jamie says something like what you just said. It sounds completely insane.
He was people just give me fins. They
give
me
fins. I don't know. And he goes, and I just assume it's because they like me and I make them feel good. And Lasso goes, that is shockingly healthy. Like every time you start down that path of something like that, my brain's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? And then I go, no, it's me. It's me that has something wrong with him. Corey's just going through life going, well, if something good happens, I assume it's because I'm good. And I'm going, why is he like that?
Well,
who's like that?
They
just
never
like that.
They just never, I'd never seen a kid's thing before. And then I thought they were just like, oh, he got baby now.
I would have figured it out because I would have been like, well, there's no way it's because I hit.
Yeah.
So there's some other reason.
No, I'm the opposite.
It's because this corporation wants me to peddle this product.
Right.
Oh, no.
I just assumed it's because I hit.
Do you well, is this you get a box every week anyway, and then all of a sudden your normal box had a kids thing in it? Mm-hmm. Not a separate box. You got
it was a promotional box. It was a separate box
okay.
from them. Yeah. But I do be getting it every week.
See, I didn't even get this separate promotional box.
I didn't either.
So right. That's also very Raven.
I assume that's just because
automatically send it to him, and we don't even get asked. Like, nor does he get asked. It just shows up at his house.
Yeah, but I bet that's because he was on a call we weren't on, or he filled out a thing. Because there's been plenty of times where I haven't checked my email for a few days, and Corey's had a back and forth with one of our people from like 7 emails, and I just don't read it. I'm like, clearly the last email says thank you. We did it, whatever we were supposed to do. And so he deserves the box. You know what I mean? For doing that. And me not doing
so it is because I hit.
No, I think we solved it. That. I know the only call he was on that we wasn't on, and it had nothing to do with this. And I always fill out the forms. So no, you're wrong. It's just this is the universe shining on him the way that it always does.
Or it's shitting on you. I'm out because I didn't fill it out. And then you're out because
I didn't fill I never miss filling out a form. I don't remember having the opportunity to fill this one out.
I'm saying I'm out because I didn't do it, and you're out because the university's shitting on you.
Yes,
I'm in, baby. Coming up,
and
Joe.
He's in.
Right.
He's neutral.
Switzerland, baby. Hey, speaking of which, USA. We did
I think
it.
I told you guys this. I watched that basketball gold medal game at a bar. Everyone was watching it. Everyone was engaged. There were like 120 people there. People were cheering. People had on USA stuff. It wasn't like the middle of Oakland. This was in Nashville. And once we won, or it was clear we were winning, someone tried to start that chant, and like 7 out of 120 people joined, and it faded immediately. And a guy goes, fuck that.
That's funny. My dad had a very self-aware moment when we were talking about it, and Dad was like super into it. Like Dad's super into like, you know, dude, my dad was fucking 28 or 29 when the dream team was a thing. Like men's Olympic basketball has always been his shit. And he was super pumped about it. And like, he was talking about like, you know, LeBron this and Steph Curry this and blah, 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 blah. And Dad goes, you know, what's funny though, is like people like me next week, we're going to go right back to hating LeBron. It's like, we're going to go right back to hating him. But right now, I swear to God, he's like, we're going to go right back to hating LeBron. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, but not right now, dude. Not right now.
I think it's reversed for some progressives with America.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. I mean, not me. America always hits for me. Just so everybody knows.
And LeBron.
But
it don't hit for me, but I'm cheering for him
too. But yeah, no, you're right about that. It's like I saw a bunch of TikToks and videos and stuff of people pointing that out. But it's like me, you know, every other year or whatever, and then they're sitting there like, this country fucking sucks. We can't even get health care. We out just bitching about all the things that don't hit about America. And then it's like me every 4 years, and then they're like dressed up like Uncle Sam, fucking shooting off fireworks, getting fired up. So I mean, yeah, that is a thing. But
did you see where our athletes were staying over in an attempt to get health care for free because you get it for free?
I saw them, they were taking advantage of that. But I don't at all hate Steph Curry, but like, I've never rooted for Steph Curry before because
light skin.
Because I'm a Grizzlies fan.
Oh,
and
right,
you know, the last real shot we had was right as they were ascending, and we ran into that freight train, and that was the last time we had any kind of real shot. And I
hated Kurt Warner because of that.
But they've beaten the Grizzlies plenty. Yeah, well, I'm saying, like, I'm a fan of a Western Conference team. They've dominated the Western Conference. I've been over and I know the Warriors that's over. Their dynasty is over now, which hits. But I've been over that shit for a long time. And they never hit for me because, again, I like the Grizzlies. So I never liked that they hit so hard. But I always like respected and acknowledged how great Steph Curry was, though. Like, so it wasn't like that's what I mean. I never hated Steph Curry. I was just always like, God damn, this motherfucker again. And it was like nice to, you know, be on the other side of that. It was nice to like just to be able to like be fully into
he's on our team
doing what he always does, because I've never really gotten to experience that before. So.
Well, he's had some down years with the Warriors, and I'm a big NBA fan, so I've gotten to see that, and I experienced exactly what you're talking about, but not – this isn't the first time. But, like, in the last 2 or 3 years, just watching him in the playoffs, like in the play-in games or in a series I know he's going to lose, do the same exact thing, it's incredible. And, dude, I got emotional, genuinely, just because I love basketball so much during that gold medal game, and he went off. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable what they were all doing. Durant, LeBron, it was unreal.
Well, it's cool that
the KD clips were fucking phenomenal. He popped off as well.
It was really cool because it's this like last, you know, the guys that have personified the last 20 years of NBA basketball. This is like they're all together for one last ride type of thing, which is super rad. But then also it's also like they're not just there, you know, and have that going on, but like they were the ones carrying the team the whole time. You know, it was really like some Avengers shit.
And we lost before that. People forget that because like our best players didn't want to play and the program had fallen apart and there was a changing of the guard with Olympic basketball. And eventually Krzyzewski and then Kerr like took it over, and then LeBron and KD also like were like, all right, and D Wade. So like it's what you just explained, but also for people who don't have the long memory or don't care, we haven't always won. There was a time where we got beat
Olympics
a few
ago.
times.
Yeah, I think 2004 is the only time that
But we lost a lot of world championship games. In that
yes,
time
that's
period
true.
Too.
But yeah, but,
also, wasn't Kawhi supposed to play and the Clippers didn't want him to? Is that?
Well, he's not fully healthy, so there's a lot of debate about. Like the Clippers' point was like, you didn't even finish the year. Are you sure you're ready now? And then Kerr said it was for health reasons, but I think Kerr was like, I'm not gonna get into this with the Clippers with Kawhi. It's just not worth it. I'll just put Derek White on the team. He can guard anybody. Now, they didn't put Brown on the team, and that was a big deal. They put White on the team instead of Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was the MVP of the finals. Derek White's one of his teammates, and they chose Derek White.
Well, you need a glue guy. You need a role player.
He didn't even play.
Yeah, I know. But well, then Jaylen Brown might not have ever really gotten to play either, but that might have been a bigger deal for him. Do you know what I mean?
It was a big deal for Tatum that didn't get to play a lot.
Yeah, right.
I think it's because he runs his mouth.
He ain't going to say shit.
I think it's because he runs his mouth. I think it's because Jaylen Brown is a very opinionated, intelligent man and, a little alternative.
No, but I want to dissect that story you told a little bit more, though, and do some hypothesizing about the fucking sports bar in Nashville. Because, I feel like there's a couple different ways. I've been to sports bars during the World Cup, and this country don't give a fuck about soccer. And I've been to sports bars during the World Cup in Knoxville, in Los Angeles, probably a couple other places.
New York, they gave a fuck.
And no. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying America don't give a fuck about soccer. I've been at sports bars during the World Cup, and it's insane. Everyone's wearing red, white, and blue, chanting, singing, screaming, loving it the whole time. And they did that in Knoxville. They did that in L.A., despite the fact that this country don't even – I mean, L.A. fucks with soccer. But,
Galaxy, baby.
So I find that odd what you said, but do you think it's because it's you think part of it is guys – I mean, we're supposed to wreck everybody's shit in this one. So, getting too fired up about it seems kind of silly or amateurish or something. Because it's it would have been a shame if we didn't beat the French, But beating the French, that's no reason to lose your minds. It's what they did, what they're supposed to do. It was fun, but we don't. Is it that, or is it America don't hit anymore?
No, I don't think it's the latter. I think it's what you said, and then also just it just felt lame. I don't know. Maybe it was maybe it was a subconscious thing. Whoever started the chant looked lame. Like the guy who said, fuck that.
That would be so funny.
Had a USA hat on.
What it was.
Yeah.
It just came down to the guy who did it. Yeah, right. The whole crowd was looks at you, or whoever's no, we ain't doing this.
No,
if it was a cool guy, maybe we'd do this.
But the guy who said, fuck that, had on a USA hat. So it wasn't it was just it was we all, maybe for completely different reasons, we're like, nah, we're not doing that. Maybe we were all too old. It was a Titans preseason game at a Titans bar that was not on yet, but about to be on. A lot of people we were close enough to the stadium. A lot of people were going to go to the game. I think people were just no, it's you don't storm the court, for a few people. I think it was you don't storm the court when you're supposed to win.
Yeah, right. I was thinking though about when they said this is the for the fifth time in a row the U.S. men's have won the Olympic basketball, and I was like, fifth time in a row, and I started doing the math. I was like, when the fuck did we get beat? And then I was starting to think about how in my brain, like you said, it is just to me, it's all right, men's Olympic basketball is a foregone conclusion. We just got to kind of go through this rigmarole to ultimately hand the championship to the United States. However, with the European invasion, as it were, and I heard I think it was Meta World Peace. I mean,
Gilbert Arenas. I know what you're going to say.
Oh, Gilbert Arenas. Yeah, Gilbert Arenas. They were interviewing him, and they were talking about how to make basketball better, and he was like, "Get these fucking Europeans out of here." Basically, was what he was saying.
Well, he pointed out that they changed the rules for them.
They changed the rules for them because over there they don't play defense as much or whatever. But I was thinking about that. but there are so many of them that hit so hard. Like so many of, because I'm not a fan of any one team. I enjoy just watching players, and especially the ones that y'all be putting in the thread or whatever. And like so many of my favorite players from this year are not American. Like we're talking about Luka.
Yeah,
we're talking, no, it don't hit when it comes to Olympic time, because I'm thinking like 2028, like, yeah, it's not in any way going to be a foregone conclusion.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mark, who's probably Mark, about to say Mark, he's smart Mark, and he's like a basketball fanatic. And, he said the other day in 28, it's, very possible that France will be like the odds-on Vegas favorite to win because Wemby is a freak of nature and all that, and they got all these. But also, as far as the whole the room, he is France, yeah. But all these their rules, whatever Arena said, but they don't hit. I'm basketball dumb. I just watch. I know that ball going hoop that mean points, and it hits for me. It hits for me the stuff they can do. I don't understand the ins and outs of basketball, but from my ignorant, dumb perspective, they were playing by FIBA rules, right? In this tournament, it seemed way better to me.
That's actually why the NBA changed. It's not like I'm not saying the powers that be weren't like, damn, we're going to make millions upon millions and more dollars if we get more international superstars. I'm sure these are very smart people. I'm sure that was part of the meeting. But the real reason that it changed, that Gilbert left out, is it's a prettier game. Remember how many points the NBA games used to have back when we were growing
120, 130.
No, that's now, dude. Back then it was like 92 to 90.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The international
the Spurs in the 90s was like,
and that was an international game plan.
Fundamental and everybody to death,
Right, but then Spurs in the 2000s ushered in.
Yeah, they had Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and all them. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And even Tim Duncan, who's an American, but he's from they ushered in an international game. So what was happening is as fans started to watch more international games, the NBA powers that be were like,
kind of just stayed boring the whole time, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I say that I grew up a Spurs fan. I think just because they were black and white, like the Raiders were, and I was like, this will be my team. So when I was a kid, I was a Spurs fan. So I loved the Spurs, but like, they've always been both that 90s version of them with the Admiral David Robinson when they were like, they made the playoffs every year, but they never got nowhere. And then the post Tim Duncan version when they got all these European guys and stuff and they became a dynasty. Every iteration of them, they didn't hit for people really. Not just because they were winning. It was just like people just didn't like, they were just boring and people didn't. Maybe it's because they didn't have Americans and.
It's because of Popovich and Duncan, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Popovich's personality,
baby.
Right. They use their brain on you to death, and that doesn't hit for people.
And the way Duncan played wasn't very exciting, even as a part of like the drive and kick it movement that they ushered in. The way Duncan played wasn't very exciting, but he was so good at it that he was. I mean, Tim Duncan is kind of underrated. Partially probably because he's boring.
He's like maybe the greatest power forward of all time, right? I mean,
but I would argue that he belongs in the top 5 and definitely in the top 10 conversations. And sometimes he ekes into a top 10 conversation. He never ekes into a top 5 conversation, but he was so utterly dominant on both ends. But, it's like a Popovich thing. He's so brilliant it takes away. But real quick, just to finish up, I just wanted to say that like fans were watching these international games because of the Olympics, because of recruiting, because they wanted to go see about this kid, Ricky Rubio, in Spain. And they were going, this is way more fun.
Yeah.
Why are we not playing like that over here? And what they learned was a few different things. One is a lot of our players didn't know how, because the way U.S. basketball had been for so long, teaching one-on-one isolationism, Kobe was the height of trying to copy Jordan, but everybody who failed to reach Kobe's level sucked. They could put up 40, but they'd lose the game. But then, two, the way you were allowed to play defense in the NBA, if those international teams came over and played us, we'd hound them. All that movement and bullshit. I mean, dude, Steph Curry's career, he's gotten stronger because he had to. But, like, Steph Curry would not have had the same career that he has now playing in Jordan's era because they would have beat him to death.
Right.
LeBron, on the other hand, would have been even more dominant because he's also stronger than everyone on top of being great.
Right. They would have been trying to beat him to death, but he would have just.
Well, and Mark said that Kevin Durant was the best international player probably of all time. And I think that's a fair statement. It's definitely him or Carmelo. Both of those guys aren't as good in the league as they are in FIBA rules because you can body them up, because it's still a little bit the old NBA. It's still not FIBA rules in the NBA. It's just that we're going more that to allow players to be like these. Honestly, it's like all these 6'10" shooters. They can't bang. So let's make it to where they don't have to.
Right. Yeah, no. What I'm hearing is the league's gotten pussified just like football.
It is wild.
But it's led to way more points.
Yeah.
In both instances.
That's true in football too, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
They've done that in favoring the offense or whatever, but let them play. Goddamn. But
it is wild to see in basketball, like as someone who casually watches, like I watch the playoffs, and especially when y'all are getting heated about it. Now, say I don't have a team. I told Mark that I would be a Mavs fan just to latch on to something so that
when they started hitting. Yeah.
Well, just because I wanted to hate when Mark hated, like no one hates like Mark, you know what I mean, on his team. And I was like, I'm interested in that type of hate. But really I don't have a fan of a team. I'm just a fan of players. But the thing that's been crazy to me to watch in the difference in when I was a kid versus now is like, every now and then you just see a dude who's 7 foot pull up for a 40-foot 3-pointer, and it's like makes sense. And you're like, what the fuck is like it? Like, I remember the first time I saw it, I'd not watched basketball for a while, and I was like, well, there's no way. Holy shit, look at that! Like, you would have never seen that shit.
Yeah,
yeah, man. It's math is what led to that.
That don't hit.
No, math don't hit. Everybody.
They're like, if you can make a certain percentage of those, that's a better shot.
Right.
So, a couple other things about the Olympics more broadly, right? First of all, kind of we were talking about earlier, like, I was like, no, I like America all the time. One thing I was thinking watching the Olympics, like, it's like a cliche at this point over the past X number of years or whatever. Some people say America, greatest country on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And other people go like, are you right? Yes, that's implied. And other people go, what, are you out of your fucking mind? In what way? Here's all the ways in which we do not hit, right? And, that even fucking, Aaron Sorkin got in on
Newsroom.
The Newsroom, which most people hated that show. I didn't. It was very Sorkin-y, but whatever. But most people hated that show. But that one clip of Jeff Daniels' character, who's a conservative nominally in that show.
He's an Aaron Sorkin conservative.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So he's like,
doesn't exist.
Reasonable. Right. Yeah, exactly.
He's
fully fictional. But anyway, he's a conservative in that show, and he's the one that goes into this whole thing. He'd like name it's like, we're 27th in this, we're 32nd in this, or whatever else. So when I say,
and I just know all these numbers right off the top of my head.
So when you say America's the greatest country on earth, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, right? And again, it went viral. Everybody loved it. Hit for me too. But I'm watching the Olympics, and I'm thinking like, okay, look, what do we mean when we say great, right? Maybe if you say, is America the best country on earth or the best country to live in?
Right.
No. Wrong. Norway, probably. Sweden, I guess. One of them hurt the dirty places. But Germany, when you say Germany, when you say great, though,
America.
Like greatest country on earth, I kind of think that America is the greatest country on earth. When you combine like military greatness and dominance with athletic greatness and dominance and the wealth and power,
dog in the woods,
right? Wealth and power and all that. And it's like, I don't know exactly how you want to define greatness, but I feel like I think we do be the greatest country
good
on
aren't
earth.
The same thing.
But we're not the best. We're not the best or the happiest or the hittingest or whatever. But greatest, like when you say this man is a great man, this country's a great country, I think we are the greatest country on earth.
Without question.
I think that's a fair argument, but I don't think that's what people think you mean when you say it. Do you feel like when people say we're the goddamn greatest country on earth, what they mean is like this nuanced, well laid out thing that you're saying? Or do you think that those people think?
I don't even think it's really that nuanced. I'm just saying we just kick everybody's ass.
Most of those people, because they live on my block and they've got the Make America Great Again signs, most of those people, when they say America's the greatest country on earth, what they literally mean is in their brain, every other country, we're the only ones that have freedom. They really do believe that we're the only ones that have freedom.
Which that's insane.
I know, but I know it's insane.
It's also ironic.
They really do believe that. They'll be like, England don't have freedom. We got freedom. We're the only ones.
I wanted to raise a question related to that with England. Greatest current or all time, your opinion?
all time, it's got to be
the Romans.
It's got to be the Romans, right?
Or Great Britain. Yeah. Either the Romans or the British Empire, I think, would have to. I don't know. Maybe Genghis Khan and them. Maybe.
But you got to give it. But if you're going between Romans and British Empire, British Empire's still out here doing it. You know what I mean?
China's been around throughout everything we just
China gets ignored.
They do. That's how good they are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they've also. I mean,
they're also catching us though by your metric for the record.
They are, absolutely, they are. There's no doubt about that. They're like definitely nipping on our heels for sure. But as you pointed out, it's like even when you talk about the medal count, that's another thing that's been annoying me. But whatever. I know this is it's semantics and
run tell that.
But the whole generally speaking, from what I've seen, news outlets they cover the medal count only one of two ways. It's either by gold medal count, meaning whoever's got the most golds is at the top. And that's how they, keep up with it. Or it's by total medal count, gold, silvers, bronzes combined, right? One of those two. And people argue about those two. But I think there's a very simple and obvious way to get around that. So we finished tied dead even with China in golds, 40-40, right? So if you're doing the gold medal count, it's like, well, we tied. Us and China tied for first. But we had 35 more silver and bronzes than they did.
Yeah,
and I don't care how you look at it. That means we win.
Yes.
Not only do we win, it wasn't particularly close, right? However, on the other hand, Great Britain had 65 total medals and France had 64. That would put Great Britain above them if you're going by totals. However, France had 2 or 3 more golds than Great Britain did.
So they win.
So in that case, I think France deserves to be above them.
Couldn't agree more.
So I'm saying all you got to do is just make it a point system where, just for an example, golds are worth 5, silvers are worth 2 or 3, however you want to do it, and bronzes are worth 1. Well, I can get the argument for silvers being 2 if you're like, no, gold should be worth that much more.
Yeah, okay.
But whatever. Either way, just give them a point value, tally up the points, and then that's how you keep the order of who's winning at the end of the Olympics is whoever's leading in points. And it just seems to me like that just what's the argument against that? Like, why don't they just do that? I don't understand it.
Run the clip back of Trey saying math don't hit about 48 seconds ago.
I know. I said he told me he knew I was about to do this because I texted all this to y'all the other day, and I said I tried not to do this. I did. Show that fucking clip. Show that clip. Show that clip of me saying
Trey languishing.
Show that clip of me saying, you know what? No, that ain't gonna hit for nobody. And then Corey goes, no, do it.
Just so y'all know, I can't do any. I can't.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
But still, anyway.
I wish I could so bad.
I thought that you could just pull that up from.
See, I know this is hitting for Choke because, again, he's the one who told me to do this, and now he's just getting to just revel in this. Anyway,
I didn't see this part coming. I wasn't thinking about this.
Well, I just brought up math as the only counter argument that exists.
Yeah, I just enjoy
math is boring or whatever. I mean, I think they're both. I think the ways they do it are both valid. I also think Karen beyond while it's happening, and then maybe for like a few days because we're still talking about the Olympics. Like next month, I won't give a shit. And
I know you
guys won't. So it's just like a fun thing to do. The only thing I will say though is I think we tied in gold because they took one of ours, which is a real bummer.
Well, when you get into that, there's a ton of. So I'll give you a couple other examples right now. We had a high jumper from Mississippi.
Yeah,
one with his dick
who was tied. No, that's pole vault.
They took his silver.
No. But he was tied with the guy from New Zealand. They could have both gotten a gold.
And they said, run it.
But they kept jumping, which I respect.
You should give someone from Mississippi copper so he can actually do something with it when he gets home.
But they kept jumping.
They did. That is what they did.
And the Kiwi won, so we got a silver there. But the pole vaulter, not the big-dicked pole vaulter, by the way. Apparently.
The little-dicked pole vaulter.
Yeah. His name's Mondo something. He's the GOAT. Apparently, he's the best pole vaulter that's ever lived, and apparently it ain't close. He owns 19 of the 20 best pole vaults of all time. He breaks his own records all the time. Nobody else can even touch him.
I saw them all cheering for him, which that's how you know he's great. People like his rivals were cheering for him.
He's Swedish, right? He pole vaults for Sweden, and his name sounds sweet. It's like Mondo Duplantis or some shit like that, right? No. But that motherfucker born and raised in Louisiana. He's from the South.
Shit.
Yeah, lived his whole life in
and
it's like
Kind of hits for me.
His mama is Swedish. She meatballs, right? But he gumbo, right? Or at least his dad. But anyway,
she meatballs.
He gumbo. Yeah. But anyway, I just get the argument of like, let's say you are like a D1 college basketball player and you're pretty good, and your mama is German, right?
Okay. Don't hit.
You can't sniff Team USA. Okay, no, fuck D1. You're a role player in the NBA, right? You're never gonna make Team USA, but maybe you could make Germany's roster. And your mama's German. You have citizenship. Like, I understand
the Wagner brothers do that literal thing.
I totally get that, but Mondo here is he's the best of all time. Like, no one's pushing him off of Team USA, so I don't get why he's pole vaulting for. I guess they just hit harder than for him.
No,
maybe he wasn't that good and then he like improved.
I don't know, but anyway, so like I'm saying, if he pole vaulted for America, that's at least one. If not, I don't know how many golds a pole vault.
Do you think it should count?
At least one
for us. Do you think we should get a half point?
Yeah, no, whole one.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
My only counter to that is, how far back do we go? Because all our black people.
Oh,
we're giving away a lot of medals. If we're starting to go into the origin of things.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, but that's the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm saying he's from here, like wherever his parents are from, where his people are meatballs, but he gumbo.
Right. He gumbo.
No, I get that.
Meatball
gumbo. Gumbo. But even gumbo, we have because of
France,
the transatlantic slave industry. Sure. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, but bro,
you gotta let people pole vault for who they want to pole vault for.
No, not if they hit real hard. Then they're us.
Yeah, the FBI should force him to pole vault for us. No,
yeah.
I'm fine. I'm just saying that's another lost goal we could have had. But when you get in splitting these hairs, we had some big we had
Michael Phelps. We must have kicked everybody's ass.
We had a white boy. I don't know if we did. I mean, I think it was tight with China.
Even though he had 17?
Yeah, well, he didn't. I mean, how many Olympics did he do? 3 or 4?
Yeah.
And he spread
one year
out.
He won like 9 by himself.
I think it was 9 in one year. I'm pretty sure.
Were team events, but yes.
But also, that's the other thing too. People bring up a lot is like there's a million different swimming events, and there's one basketball. Well, there's 2 now. There's 3 on, but even then, the same players can't play both of the 2 basketball things. So it's like,
did we win the 3-on-3?
No, we got smoked, dude.
Because we hit it real basketball.
We didn't send our best, bro.
If they got it set up to where you have to play in 3-on-3 tournaments that qualify like for a while before you can be on the actual team. If they just let hitting basketball players who are not on Team USA play on the 3-on-3 team,
like some of them and one motherfuckers,
we would have smoked. Not even that. I just mean other guys.
They could have done it.
Who, yeah, right.
What Trey's saying is NBA players are too busy to qualify for the 3-on-3 tournament. That's why none of them are on it.
Right. Yeah, because of the way the rules work. But anyway, we had a white boy who won the 1500 that was not even supposed to be in it. So that's a goal. You know what I mean? It's like you start splitting hairs, like how close it was. There's some that if we did it again, we probably wouldn't have those. And then there's others, if we did it again, we would have those. So,
we still had.
But I fucking loved these Olympics, if people can't tell. I got very, very, very into them. I've always liked the Summer Olympics, but these really hit for me. Last Olympics thing, then we can move on. We'll get to it right after this word from our sponsor. You guys, we already talked about them up top, how hard they hit for us. HelloFresh. Like I said, I've been a loyal subscriber to HelloFresh for, I mean, literally before I moved to Los Angeles, which was 7+ years ago. I started when I was still in Tennessee. Ain't missed a box, I don't believe. That's how hard they hit for me. If you don't know what HelloFresh is, I'll explain it to you. They send you all the ingredients you need to make meals that hit for you and your family. So it takes all the stress out of cooking, right? From the planning, shopping, and prepping to actually getting everyone to enjoy what you made. Family dinners, they can be stressful, and HelloFresh gets that. They make it easier by delivering the fresh ingredients and picky eater-approved recipes right to your door each week. They've got a new thing called build a plate meals, which are designed to let every member of your household create their own plate. So it's like you got options, and they can formulate their own hits as they see fit, which is again good when you got picky kids in the house. You don't have to make multiple dinners to satisfy everybody anymore. Just one meal with many different ways to enjoy. They've got a massive menu of over 50 recipes that you could choose from each week. Whatever you're into, I guarantee you they got it each and every week on HelloFresh. You can customize these meals. You can get them with or without protein. You can swap out vegetables. You can pick the right combos for each of your week's deliveries. And like I said, I've been doing HelloFresh for a long time, and it hits me incredibly hard. Some of my favorite recipes, they got this like lasagna, but it's Mexican lasagna, beef and where the noodles is tortillas. And the sauce is Mexican beef and bean stuff. That's been a recent favorite of mine. But I like to do the steak stuff, the fish mess. I got barramundi
balls are fire.
Yes, barramundi, Cho, the hot new fish.
Hot new fish.
The hot new fish. That's right. You can watch what you're eating better when you got HelloFresh because they've got all the information you need right in front of you. It makes cooking enjoyable. You can get something that you would never some kind of wild, again, barramundi dish with a Thai curry sauce that I would never think to make in a million years on my own. But now I'm making it, and I feel like I hit even harder. All right.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing too about HelloFresh that a lot of people don't talk about is like it teaches you things. Like I would have never known how hard lemon zest hits on just about everything until HelloFresh was like, hey, zest this lemon, And also, I've been getting the same favorites for years, and sometimes I don't even look at the directions. I'm just like, thank you so much for sending me these wonderful ingredients that I will not have to waste. And now I'm going to go in there and just kind of make it hit on my own. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Drew, you be messing with HelloFresh. What's your favorite?
Man, I got too many for my favorite. Although, well, no, it's that I don't know any of the names, but it's that it's like a chicken pasta with the pink. It's got the red and the cream.
Yeah, with the rigatoni noodles or whatever. We had.
What I like about it is I don't let Andy know that's what it is. So I just be throwing down barramundi or whatever it is in front of Andy, and she's like, "Okay,
well,
thank you. How'd you learn this?" And I don't tell her it's HelloFresh. I take all the credit for it.
She don't deserve to know. And by the way, for a limited time, kids, for a limited time, kids eat free. Go to HelloFresh.com/WellRED Kids to unlock this exclusive offer. 1 free kids meal per box for 2 months while subscription is active. That's free kids meals by going to HelloFresh.com/WellRED Kids. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
So we're back. The other thing I was going to bring up about the Olympics, because the whole world's talking about it. I just wanted to see what y'all thought about Raygun. Raygun, the
breakdancing,
the professor of breaking from Australia University or wherever the hell it is. But yeah, she literally got a PhD in breakdancing. Walked out there dressed like I don't know, a tennis coach or something. What was she? Or like a fast food employee crossed with
from the 90s,
yeah, from the 90s, yeah, and did her own thing.
Almost like a stand-up routine, if you ask me.
It did very much seem like a character in a sketch or something, dude. It was so wild. So many people were like, there was a lot of people being like, "There's just no way that this." They're like, this has to be some kind of statement she's making. Right. She's trolling or something. It's like you can't get to the Olympics and be this way, right?
I've seen videos of her dancing better. So some people think she was either injured and then just went out anyway or on ketamine.
Or was like, you know what? This will give me a bigger name for myself. No one's going to give a shit who wins. Whatever.
The other thing about qualifying, though, is apparently there were plenty of people ranked higher than her in Australia who couldn't afford to go to the qualifying.
Right. I've read a million different things about the qualifying, and then I've seen other people discredit some of those things. Like I've seen why. I don't know what is and isn't true. Like I've seen people say like she, duped them into paying for it herself. I've heard people say what you just said. I've heard people say that her husband was a judge on the board of breakdancing and whatever. and then I've seen people say like that's not true. Here's the list of the judges of the board of breakdancing, and he's not in there. Yeah, whatever. So,
I do think I want to clarify. I think she has a PhD in cultural something. So it's not. She studies hip hop. She studies breakdancing.
That's true, but her PhD, like her dissertation, her specialty, all that shit was on breakdancing specifically.
Really?
Yeah, I saw her synopsis, and it was wild, dude. It was about like the inherent dichotomy of the night and how breakdancing embodies that or something. It's all a bunch of like academic, how legalese be.
Yeah.
Academia is the same way. People just talk out their ass. I used to excel at that, by the way.
You still do.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You're no slouch.
Yeah, right.
Don't sell yourself short.
That used to be, I used to always say I got hit at school. That was one of the ways I hit at school was that shit, that using a million words to say nothing. What am I doing? I'm doing it right now.
You're doing it right now.
Like you said, it's like I'm acting like haven't built a career out of still doing that.
How do you feel about this? They say that LA's canceled breakdancing, and some people say.
Well, I guess they did, but I guess technically they did cancel it, but that decision was made before these Olympics even started. So it's not.
I was going to say some people are saying it's her fault, and
so it was one and done. Like breakdancing was one and done at the Olympics.
So I think the way it works. I think the way it works is that there's like these numbers are wrong, but let's say these are the numbers. LA gets the Olympics, they have to put on 100 events. And then they had to put on 120, and the 100 of them are the same every time.
Right.
These aren't the right numbers again. But then of the 20 left over, LA picks among these 50. And
I'm pretty sure they pick each host city country picks 5 things.
Wild that France got breakdancing, but we didn't.
Correct. A lot of people have pointed that out. But the way
French love hip hop.
They apparently the rosters of sports, whatever,
the rosters have something to do with this. The Jamaicans
got decided for these 2 Olympics at the same time.
One popping lock.
Right.
Yes. I can see them domaminating.
It is wild that were they even in it? You'd think they would have been.
They do that different kind of dancing. It ain't breakdancing. It's called
Warehouse?
No, that ain't it.
Werewolf.
Well, Here's the thing with breakdancing. I saw a lot of people having a myriad of opinions on it, like how can this be an Olympic sport or whatever. And I actually did a slight deep dive on it on this week's 3 Clicks and a Hick, which you can find over at welovecorey.com. But my thing was like, okay, how though is, we've talked about this a bunch. Any of the events where it's not objective, it's like subjective.
Where judges are involved.
I sort of have always kind of had a problem with it. But like, if you're talking about like, breakdancing shouldn't be in the Olympics, then I kind of think you have to have the same issue with like floor gymnastics because like it's all performative art. Like, what's the difference?
There isn't much of one. They both take a lot of athleticism. It's not.
There is a history of standards of competition that might be longer, but I could buy an argument that if you start to make that, you're going to come across as classist or racist.
Right. That's what I was thinking. But then the most popular one was an Australian bitch with a doctorate.
So she was popular. A bunch of things. Yeah. I want to go back to what Corey said because it's a good point, I think. And other people pointed out too about how like she kind of in a way hit harder than anybody, didn't she? But anyway, like
just like the Turkish guy.
But to answer the question, they decide years and years in advance what those 5 sports are going to be. And Paris had already picked breaking, and LA had already not picked breaking before these events ever started. Battle. So for LA, I think it's flag football, which is going to be insane. That's just us like giving ourselves another gold medal.
Hell yeah, it is.
But flag football.
We're going to win silver with like Puerto Rico, or no, that's a bad example, but some country that a lot of bros can claim to be from.
I think it'll have to. It almost have to be Canada. I think because they're the only other country that's even.
Germany's getting into it, and Australia's getting.
They are. That's true, but I still think Canada's probably better than both of those 2. But anyway, they got flag football, baseball / softball.
Baseball is going to be tough.
Cricket. Which I was surprised cricket ain't always because it's huge in other parts of the world.
I'm always surprised cricket and baseball ain't part of it.
Cricket's fun.
Baseball has been on and off for some reason. Some years they have it, some years they don't. For a long, like they had baseball in Tokyo, but they didn't this year.
That's why
baseball might be the toughest one.
But and then squash, which it's like that's like racquetball. You know what squash is?
Squash,
rich people shit. Squash. And then I can't remember what the 5th one was right now.
So like Iceland is going to win at squash probably, but like
I don't know. I feel like the Brits probably got a good shot. I think of like dudes in ascots and fucking named Preston and shit playing squash.
That's
lacrosse. Lacrosse is the other one.
Lacrosse is for me.
We're going to dominate lacrosse.
There's already a controversy right now because one of the best, they have world lacrosse championships, and one of the best teams is the Iroquois Nation, who they play as themselves. They play as the Iroquois Nation. They don't represent the U.S. or Canada, where all their members are from, or whatever. What I'm saying.
We're counting that, right?
Whatever, but we'll see. The IOC, they don't want to they don't want to allow that, right? So they don't want to let them. They don't want to let the Iroquois Nation be in lacrosse at the LA Olympics.
That's bold.
That's bold and bullshit.
And they're fighting that already, because if they are in it, I mean, they'll be like competing for gold with us in Canada. It'd probably be the top 3. And squash. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we hit at squash.
So,
too,
like, if they didn't hit at lacrosse, do you think they would
be
having this fight?
Yeah, they invented it. Yeah, do you know that, Joe? The Indians invented lacrosse.
Yes, but okay. Didn't Mayans used to do it, but it was with skulls?
No, there's a game.
There's a set. I think you're talking about the game where there's like a hole that juts out from a wall, and you throw a skull through the hole.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking they had skulls in
the
basket,
that was like a gladiator type event situation.
No, I didn't know they invented it, but like that checks out, and hits.
I just don't know how you justify that. There's let them play for the refugee. There's a refugee team.
Right. Some people did individuals, right?
They may end up doing that, I guess, maybe, because that's what other people have said. They're like, well, just let them be. Because I guess also there was 1 or 2 athletes this year that were from Eastern Bloc countries that were like,
their country didn't go, but they went.
Yeah. So I guess maybe they can do something like that. But
why,
I don't know.
Why if they can do that, can't they just be their fucking thing?
I don't know. IOC got all these rules, everything big bureaucratic and shit. But
let me ask you this, Corey, and I mean, this is genuinely food for thought. Like, this is an unfair hypothetical, but I am curious. What if Black American basketball players, good ones, were like, nah, we want to represent what's called the diaspora of Black America next Olympics?
I can't have that.
No, the thing, like, obviously that wouldn't hit because then we would lose. But like at the same time, though, I'm like, ain't no skin off my back. Let them do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? Like,
did that phrase come from?
I hope not. It's so funny because when he said that, I had the same thought, Drew. I think I'd never thought twice about that phrase until he said it in that context, and I was like, wait a minute.
I'm looking it up.
Don't sound good.
No, it don't sound good.
But
I got accused of racism for a phrase that's not racist. Go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, it is.
Fuck.
I think from that.
Well, someone said that next argument is that like it doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to be the one getting whipped for it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's always something like that.
Put it on the list.
Yeah.
I said to a black attorney that the judge was like, dance, monkey, dance.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, that's racist. And I looked it up that night, and he's wrong. It comes from the circus.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't tell him that. I didn't know how to bring it up. Casually.
I was about to say, I hear that more with like comedians, like not a black thing.
I'm not a dancing monkey or whatever.
Yeah, it's a vaudeville circus joke.
What do you think about what Cho said earlier about, going back to Raygun? Like, I mean, objectively speaking, her name is Dr. Rachel Gunn, and
that's a Marvel character.
Yeah, right. It does literally sound like a comic book character, but her, objectively speaking, she's like way bigger than any of the other ones, which has to super not hit for the other ones, I have to imagine. But I mean, like, how do you measure? I don't know. How do you think?
It's the internet now, buddy.
The Hawk-Tua girl has more followers than me. I don't know if she's got you beat. You guys beat.
Oh, I'm sure she's got me beat by
definitely. But like, I mean, that's a direct complaint. How do I feel about it? Dude, here's the other thing for me. It sucked, not just like because it was bad. It wasn't that funny. Like,
it's pretty funny. I
thought it was like, okay, she sucks at it. She didn't do anything hilarious. She didn't chicken dance.
She kangaroo hopped. That's pretty close to chicken dancing.
I give her a 0 as a breakdancer, and I give her 4 as a comedian. I didn't like it.
Joe, did you think it was funny?
Yeah, I did think it was funny. The first time I saw it, and I'm sure, like anything, it'll end up getting, old or whatever. Like also loved the Hawk-Tua the first time I saw it.
I love Hawk-Tua girls still.
I do too. I do too. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
Did you see her call that guy Tiny the other day?
Raygun?
No.
Hawk-Tua?
She was on one of them like Barstool podcasts, and she goes, "You're just so cute." She wasn't being mean on purpose.
That's funny.
It was humiliating one of those guys.
But I think with this girl, I don't know, man, whether that was on purpose or not, whether she was just like, look, man, I will get more endorsements if I go out there and do something wild than if I just try to hit at this thing, which the Turkish guy, that was completely unintentional. But like, we don't live in a world anymore. I think it was like Roger Ferris or whoever the dude that ran the 3-minute mile or whatever was like, nobody remembers who came in second or whatever. And it's like, no, we all remember the Turkish guy way more than we remember.
But if he had come in last, I don't think that would have been anything.
Agreed.
Like,
he had to finish
really good.
Yeah, he had to finish.
And being so weird was like a big part of it.
Yeah, right.
Corey is right, though. I think that's true. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things. It's like maybe they had like newspaper memes about people that were funny but didn't hit it past Olympics. I don't know. But he's right. The idea of like, yeah, all that matters in sports is winning or performance or whatever. But in the post-internet era, that just ain't
Not
true.
true.
You can become a meme and it don't really matter.
Do you guys not hate that?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. It's not whether I like it or not.
I mean, I thought that Turkish dude was cool. It's like you said. I mean,
but
he
got
that's
just how he shoots.
He got silver.
Yeah,
right.
that's just how he shoots.
He might win next time. Yeah, he had taken it very seriously.
Like I don't. In his mind, I don't think he was like, I'm gonna do it like this. That way, I'll be more popular. That's just how that motherfucker shoots. You know what I mean?
I hate the quest for clout. I like when someone gets clout because they're really good at shooting and they shoot like a papaw. That hits me. That girl was being fun and funny randomly on the streets of Nashville. That hits for me. If Raygun did that for clout, I hate that shit.
I don't know if I'm saying I think that she chose to do it for clout. But
in her mind, that might have been what she thought would get gold.
Well, then I just hate her, period.
Which is insane. Yeah. You know what? I think it's a consensus. Either way, don't hit. Whatever.
No, but it's like you said. I've seen other videos of her too, where it's like, I mean, she's not an Olympian, but she's like she's like, you wouldn't, if you were just out and about some random place and breakdancing was happening and you saw her breakdancing like she does in these other videos.
Yeah, that would hit.
You wouldn't be like, what the fuck is it? Is she doing a bit? Is she just making fun of the whole thing?
Maybe it worked on purpose, or she was hurt. That's my opinion.
Right.
If she was hurt and just was like, I'm just going to do a thing, then she rules.
I don't know. Yeah, or just like tell them you're hurt, but you're already there. Don't wait till you get there to tell them you're hurt, and then you're hanging out in the Olympic Village.
Nah, do your thing. Be clowny.
What kind of injury could she have had that would have still allowed her to like breakdance, but only in hilarious fashion?
Right.
You know what I mean?
All my serious bones are broken.
Right, yeah. Only my funny bones.
I've only got my funny bones.
Right. I only got left my funny bones.
All right, I'm gonna let it slide on that one, fellas. I've got to go get Roscoe at 4.
All right. DrewMorganComedy.com. Go see him wherever he is.
Oh, yeah. I guess I'll plug some stuff real quick. You can wait 30 seconds. I'm going to be in Asheville, North Carolina, October 4th. I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina, September 15th. I'm going to be in Chattanooga, October 19th as headlining the Lookout Comedy Festival.
Nice.
And also my Don't Tell, I'll plug this harder next week. My Don't Tell's coming out soon, my Don't Tell set, and I'm going to make all of our fans sign up to follow Don't Tell and help push it. So stand by for that. I got a 15-minute set coming out of brand new stuff.
Nice.
All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah, see you, buddy.
God damn it.
Trey.
I had a thing I wanted to talk to him about, and it literally never crossed my mind once until he vanished, and then I remembered what it was, and now I'm going to have to wait till next week.
Well, there you go.
About it. But that's all right, I guess. Okay, yeah, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. I'll be in I'm off this weekend, technically. It's been the first weekend in a minute, but my in-laws are in town, so
don't hit.
And I got a fancy football draft, so pretty busy guy still. Next weekend, I'll be in the Midwest, Des Moines, Kansas City, Omaha, and then I think after that, San Antonio, and then Lord knows from there, all over the place. TreyCrowder.com. Come see me.
Hey, we've also got a wonderful podcast called Putting on Airs. You can watch it at watchpoa.com. That's the YouTube. And we hope that you will subscribe to that, even if you are just someone who listens to it. But it's a fabulous show. To give you a little teaser, this week, me and Trey, me at least, I don't know what Trey will be talking about, even though he'll certainly be adding his opinions to my subject. I'll be talking about Nicolas Cage, who I think is a fancy but lunatic sumbitch that very much fits the show, Putting on Airs. Also, WeLoveCorey.com. That is where I do my bonus stuff. It's my hero. It's like Patreon, but it's European, so it's like sexy and stuff. just put up a new video. It's called 3 Clicks and a Hick, which is the internet game 3 Clicks to Hitler. We used breakdancing to see if we could get from breakdancing to Hitler in 3 clicks. Did we do it? I don't know. Go to WeLoveCorey.com. Also grab my t-shirts at CoreyShirts.com. And also, if I may add, thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew.
But we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. We collected from our love of Downton Abbey. We collected, we found out we're both so fancy. Hey, what's the difference between rednecks and royal families? Only money, cause they both have sex with family. Ew. Putting on airs. What other rednecks to talk about foreign affairs? Laughing so hard that we end up falling out our chairs. Sir Trey, Sir Corey, oh what a pair. High class topics with a redneck flair, oh yeah. 2 rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. 2 rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Okay, it's Team Squirrel or Team Trey. Oh yeah, we keeping it basic. He thinks that the squirrels at Corey's mom's house are racist. And you know squirrels live in the same place for generations. So Trey, you better count your days and you better count your blessings. Cause all the squirrels that you ran over, that you think are nameless, faceless, their families are getting together and plotting on you from the attic and basement. So even though Corey is dumb, fat, and bald, he knows how to avoid drama, don't get squirrels involved. 2 rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. 2 rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea,